Welcome to Blue Talks.
This speech has been in the works for over 6 months now, and every single time I rehearse it, I add something or I take something out. It's like that. It's like, in fact, the day before I delivered it, I added something to it. Because I go, oh, this sounds good. And it's not just that, it's how I feel in that moment. I go, oh, this would inspire, this would make somebody feel good, or this would make somebody respond positively. Like, I constantly think of how would the audience respond to what I have to say, not because of me, but how I want them to leave with something. I don't just want them to go, oh, that was great. I want them to go, wow, she got me thinking. I remember a cold, shiny, silvery microphone was headed straight for my face. It almost touched my lips. I could feel the electrical current crawled through my veins. The hair on the back of my neck stood straight, like a dog's hair when the mailman rings the doorbell. At the end of the hand that was holding the mic was standing my husband. He was a brilliant auctioneer. Him and I used to work on ships together, auctioning fine art. And I would look at him on stage and admire him. And secretly, I wanted to do what he did. I wanted to speak on stage. After all, as a child in Romania, I used to recite poetry on stage. I was chosen as the only kid in my hometown to go to the airport and recite a poem to the Romanian president when he came to visit our area. So I thought, why not? Why not me? So that day, he was doing his sound check, and I tapped him on the shoulder and I said, honey, do you think that maybe one day I can do what you do? Do you think that maybe one day I can get up on stage and auction a few pieces of art? All he did was grab the mic, shove it in my face, and said, go ahead, do it. I panicked. I ran. I found myself crumbled in tears on the bathroom floor. I was crumbled under the pressure of just being defeated by what I wanted most, to speak on stage, my dream. I looked at myself in the mirror, tears flooding my face. How dare you? Who do you think you are? How dare you imagine that you can speak in front of an American audience? How dare you imagine that your voice can be heard? This happened 18 years ago. My husband's intention at the time is irrelevant, and I can assure you that his heart was in the right place. Maybe he was just being a man. You know how men are. Hunters. Oh, you want to speak? Here, go ahead. Maybe I was just expecting him to be more like, oh, honey, you want to speak on stage? Great. Why don't we pick a few pieces of art? We rehearse them together in the room. I'll help you. No problem. More of the gatherer type, right? I'm still messed up about this whole masculine, feminine energy thing. I'm still learning. But as I said, that's irrelevant. What matters is what I got stuck with. The belief that I was not good enough. The belief that I will never speak on stage. The belief that my voice did not matter. This, together with a plethora of other limiting beliefs, have shackled me for years to come. And it took me a long time to start chiseling at the chains. And this is why I came here today, to share with you one little known secret, but potentially one of the best ways you can take any limiting beliefs about who you are and what you can do and turn them into your saving grace, and turn them into your stepping stone and turn them into your cornerstone. I'm here to inspire you to rise up in your greatness like a phoenix. I'm here not only to teach you how to overcome your limiting beliefs, but how to make them work for you and potentially find your purpose in life. Are you in? Yes! Awesome. Some of you may say, what is a limiting belief? Okay, a limiting belief is a notion that we hold as true without any empirical evidence. And this notion stands between who we are and who we could become. A limiting belief steals our dream from us. As I like to say it, a limiting belief is a pebble in your shoe. Have you ever walked with a pebble in your shoe? Yeah? Can you walk with a pebble in your shoe? Yeah? Not very well, but you can, right? You wiggle your toes a little, the rock gets between the toes, you're fine. But can you run? No. You cannot run with a pebble in your shoe. And this is exactly how limiting beliefs are. They let us live our life, but they don't let us live our life in our greatness. They let us live our life, but they don't let us reach our highest potential. I'm asking you today, do you know what your limiting beliefs are? Do you know what is stopping you from reaching your highest potential? I came to this country 24 years ago with $20 in my pocket, $500 in debt, and a duffel bag full of dreams. I was 7 years old when I dreamed of becoming an American, and I made it happen. I left a fashion design career back in Romania to come and work on cruise ships, 14 hours days, standing up. Nothing was going to get between me and my dreams, nothing, until I let fear and limitations write the next chapter of my life. As a Romanian immigrant, I believed that I could not speak to high-paying customers because English was not my first language. I believed that I could not speak on a stage because I had an accent. I believed I couldn't read books in English because by the third page I would space out, I would forget everything I read. And this was killing me because as a young girl in Romania, I read hundreds of books. I believed I couldn't drive in the United States, get this, because I didn't know the ways, the roads were too wide, there were too many cars, too many lanes, driving too fast. I believed I couldn't write my own copy for business as a real estate agent because I wasn't trained in marketing and because I was making too many grammatical errors. I would cringe when I walked in my living room every now and then, and I would find my husband holding one of the postcards, and he would point out the mistake, and he would remind me how much business I'm losing and how unprofessional that is. How did I overcome all these limiting beliefs? How? Anyone knows?
Took control of your thoughts.
All right. That's a very good point. Here's how I did it. 7 years ago, I got a puppy. Oh. A pit bull. Now you're laughing, but that's not how my friends and family, including my husband, reacted. Every one of them was like, a pit bull? Are you crazy? He's going to destroy your house. He's going to turn on you. You're going to come home one day and you're going to find your Persian rugs shredded to smithereens. I had no idea that there were dogs in this country who were deemed vicious. But I knew one thing for sure. As far as I was concerned, that beautiful, loving puppy was going to prove them wrong. Now, do I have any dog owners in this room? Woo! Yay! I'm in the right kennel. I love it. So what is the first thing you do when you get a dog? Right? But what is it you do? You give it a name. That's the first thing you do. You give it a name and teach him how to come when called. What is the second thing you do when you get a dog? Reward, yes. And then you train him not to go potty and pee on your Persian rugs. Right? And then the third thing you do when you get a dog. Now, okay, I'm going to insert a little fine print here because anyone who owns a Chihuahua, a Pomeranian, a Yorkie, or any other bedroom sleeper on steroids will not know the answer to this question. The third thing you do when you get a dog, you teach them to be non-reactive. Because the worst thing that can happen is for you to take your dog in public, to a Woofstock event or something, and come home with your tail between your legs because your dog barked and charged and launched at every other dog out there. So you train them to be non-reactive. Now, I know what's going to happen right now. Many of you are like, okay, Carmen, what is training your dogs got to do with your limiting beliefs? Just hang in there. There's a reason for my madness. So let's go back to training your dog to be non-reactive. I learned how to do that with my pit bull. So what do? You take your dog on a walk, on a leash. You do that with another friend. That's the best way to do it, because you don't want to walk around aimlessly looking for another person with a dog around town. As your friend and their dog approaches, and your dog heads into their direction, and the distance between the two dogs gets small enough that your dog starts reacting and starts whining and barking and pulling on the leash, all you do is, whoops, yank the leash, turn around with your dog in the opposite direction, make a few steps, and then repeat the exercise. You walk, the distance gets too small, your dog starts reacting, you go whoops, yank the leash, and turn around and walk with your dog in the opposite direction. You repeat this exercise 5-6 times, and voila, you got yourself a well-trained dog. So I got to thinking, what if I was to use the same technique on my limiting beliefs? What if the moment that voice, everybody's talking about voices, right? What if the moment that little voice in the back of my head goes, stay in your lane, you're not good enough, you can't do this. I went whoops, yanked the leash, and took extreme action in the opposite direction. It worked. Because our limiting beliefs tell us exactly what to do. Our limiting beliefs tell us exactly what direction we need to go in. I was afraid to speak to my high-paying customers. Whoops! I hired a business coach, and she helped me bring my business on the top 2.5% of top producing brokerages in my area. That's right. Woo! I was afraid to speak on stage. Whoops! I started recording myself on my iPhone, posting videos on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all over the place. I inspire people around the world. And I'm speaking in front of you here today. I was afraid to read books. Whoops! I found Audible, and now I read 60 to 70 books per year. I was afraid to drive in the United States. Whoops! I got a GPS. Yep. I don't even have a warning on my record. I'm an excellent driver. I was afraid to write my own copy for business. Whoops! I published my first book. It became a bestseller on Amazon. It's called Stand Out from the Crowd. And I teach people to overcome their limiting beliefs and find their purpose in life. And you know what? If you read my books, oh, sure, why not? I'll be working on the next one then. If you read my book, you will still find grammatical errors. And that's okay. Because being perfect is not what matters. What matters is to get things done. Because done is better than none. So the question I have for you again, what are your limiting beliefs? What is stopping you from becoming the best version of yourself? What is your pain? The Bible says your pain has a purpose. I like to take it one step further and say your purpose is in your pain. Where is your wound? Poet Rumi says that the wound is the place where the light enters you. I like to take it one step further and say, your wound is your light. Viktor Frankl said, suffering ceases to be suffering the moment it gets a meaning. What I like to say is, your suffering is your meaning. I went deep in the cave I feared the most, and I dug out my fear, my limitation, my pain, my suffering, my wound. I looked them straight in the eye and I destroyed them. So go in the cave you fear, because the cave you fear holds the treasure you seek. I didn't say it. Joseph Campbell did. But first, you must stand up and let the light come in. So stand up for yourself. Let the light come in. You are a beautiful creature. You are designed for greatness. You owe it to yourself to shine the light on the God and Goddess within and bring them out and give them to the world into their full glory. Do not let limiting beliefs rent space in your head. Do not let the opinion of others dictate your future. Your opinion is the only one that matters. Take extreme action before hell takes over. And you'll come home one day, and your life will be shredded to smithereens. What is hell? Hell is meeting the person you could have become on the last day on earth. Let me say that again. Hell is meeting the person you could have become on your last day on earth. Okay. The question is, why wait till the last day? Why? I've been going through a divorce lately. And it's been hard. One of the questions that kept on popping into my head again and again and again was, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And I was tormented by it because when I've been thinking about it, I was like, okay, who am I? Well, I don't know, because it seems like my entire life I have been someone that someone else wanted me to be. Because that's what we do in life, right? We go to a family event when all we want to do is to hang out at home watching Netflix. We cook a 5-course meal for our husband's friends when all we want to do is to take the day off. We go camping when all we want to do is stay in a 5-star hotels. We say yes when we want to say no. Any of you do that? Anyone? Anyone says yes when you want to say no? Yeah, right? We do it. So, as I was going through this hard time in my life, I had some time to think about things, and I was looking through some papers that I wrote, and I stumbled upon a quote that I wrote during a Tom Billio speech. And the quote was, "It doesn't matter who you are today. It matters who you want to become and what price you're willing to pay to get there." And this was the answer to my entire dilemma. And I realized that the price is high. You're going to lose friends. You're going to lose family. You're going to lose a marriage. You're going to lose business, sleepless nights. The higher the prize, the higher the price. I commend you all for being here today. You people are not regular people. You're brave, you're courageous, you want to change yourselves. Many of you are weird. Yeah? Your friends, your family, your neighbors, they think you're weird. How do I know? Because I'm weird. And you know what we weird people do? We think we can change the world. And because of that, we do. I did not grab the mic 18 years ago, but I have it now. And with it, I want to give you this message. Go out there and grab your mic and grab your book. Grab the health you wanted, the business you always wanted. Grab your body. Grab your freedom and rise up like a phoenix. Unleash the God and Goddess within. I love you all.